I feel like now we're getting more sci-fi horror movies. Hence, Happy Death Day, Happy Death Day to You, Freaky Friday, and now, Totally Killer. Chase Leaki here with the Blue Futon reviewing Totally Killer. This is an Amazon Prime movie that I would say came out of nowhere, because it did kind of come out of nowhere, and it's about a killer coming back 35 years later, but now the daughter needs to realize, how can I save my mom? How can I save my mom? And now there's a time machine going back to 87, and she's going to try to save the 3 girls and her mother. So, do you like this film? I thought it was a pretty fun little film. I do think something at the end bothered me, but that's it. I do feel like some of the dialogue was a little bit cringy. We'll talk about that later. But I do think the overall premise of the movie does work. So when we talk about the positives, I do think it's a fun movie through and throughout. There were some hysterical moments. The most funniest, we'll go with that, is a dodgeball scene. Okay, not too long ago, I would say in the 90s, we would have the huge rubber dodgeballs, right? And you would peg them in the face. And now we're a bunch of pussies in this. And they kind of do in this movie where the girl's like, oh my God, this is so dangerous. Look, lady, you are sheltered nowadays. That's all I'm going to say. Today's day and age, people are so sheltered. They're pathetic. They're fucking weak. They're not manly. They're not feminine. It's absolutely dog shit pathetic where we're at in today's day and age. And I said it. Look, if you are so problematic that we can't play with rubber dodgeballs, go kick rocks. Seriously. Where's the fun now? It's like, oh, we gotta have these little fluffy ones so we don't hurt anyone's feelings because everyone's so fragile. Nah, fam. Get with the program. There's more shit with that going on. Now, what are we at now? You know, we were in all the stuff happening in the world with the whole Palestine, Israel thing, and I see what people are taking sides on. I'm not gonna act like I know what's going on over there. I know this is red flag, me just going off on the strip. All I'm gonna say is, look, if you're raping women and children and you're kidnapping them and you're gonna let them do shit, how can you be on that side? That's all I'm gonna fucking say. But I don't know what that brought me up. Oh, softness. We are so soft, at least in America. That's all I'm gonna say. Dodgeball. It's a metaphor for, I think, where if something really bad happened to people, they would fucking freeze. They would be in the flight or freeze. 90% would be in the freeze because they're so good for what they have. And it does a little bit of stuff like that compared to the 80s today, where this girl's like, well, that's problematic. That's problematic. That's problematic. It's like, is it though? Or is it that we're just so freaking soft? I would say that there is a metaphor for that in the movie. But I look at the writers and the director, and I don't know if they're going to really say that. They're more going to be like, oh, we are more better in today's society. Are we though? Are we? But when talking about the movie now, sometimes I just go on little rants. If you're new to this channel, I just go on random little rants, and that was one of them. But anyway, this movie is a fun little movie. The gore is there. The comedy is there. I think the overall premise is there. Is it a little weird, though, that randomly this girl has been trying to build a time machine for decades? I don't know. I just felt like it was a little out of place. So that is one point where it's like, at least with Freaky Friday, a freak thing happened. There was a turn. Happy Death Day, it was more like, waking up the same day, waking up the same day. This one, someone was literally trying to build a time machine. And you're just like, okay, that's cool. But did no one else at the science fair be like, yo, you're trying to build a time machine? Or this girl in the 80s, like, nothing happened in that time frame? I don't know. What do I know? I do think the killers, that was an interesting aspect. It's not what you expected. And there were some good twists and turns where I never thought it was going to be that person and how it changed the future. So I said, okay, I do like that. That is something different. And I enjoyed that twist and turn because usually I could guess the person who done it. This one was pretty solid, oh, okay. Good job surprising me. I could dig that. I truly do. I do think at the very end of the movie, I noticed something and I feel like, gosh darn it. If you've seen my movies, I'm not going to say it again, but it happens again in this movie where I'm like, yep. Did you really just have to put that randomly on the wall in the background? I feel like every, filmmaker feels like they have to do it to be for a cause. It's almost like the black squares in Facebook profiles where people are like, oh, that really did something. Did it, though? it. And so this movie kind of the same way. Overall, I was pleasantly surprised with this film through and throughout. It could have been a complete dumpster fire, but it was a solid little thing where, it makes me think about where we're at today and me growing up, where, just what you're allowed to do now and today. And it's kind of shocking and it's kind of repulsive. And I think we're soft. I truly think we are a soft society where I'm just going to say that. I think we're soft. And this movie, I think, was trying to poke fun at the 80s, but I think it was it more showed we are where we're at today, where we're pathetic. Like, there's this one thing in there about a Native American mascot. And she's like, oh, that's racism. Well, little do you know, the Native American organization is suing the Washington Redskins to have the mascot back. And I'm calling on the Washington Redskins because, if the Native Americans put it there, or the reason why it was that logo to honor Native American, and now all the white people are trying to get rid of it. It's kind of weird that the liberal whites are always like that, Uncle Ben, gone. Pancake Mix, Aunt Jemima, gone. Redskins, gone. Mr. Clean stays. Totally Killer will receive a 3.5 out of 5 with Futon. Do that 70%. Let's see what the critics' news scores gave this one. So the critics at 85% with 68 of them. Audience score at 83% with over 250. Critic consensus. Totally Killer may not take full advantage of his promising content, but it's a time-traveling horror sci-fi mashup that is still enjoyable overall. I have to agree, it was fun. Yeah, let's just put it that way. But it makes me wonder, though, are only some people in the part of the country soft? I know California's soft. I've lived there. Florida ain't soft. Texas, it matters where you're going if you're soft or not. Austin, you're soft like a motherfucker. Anyway, 70, 85, 83. Chase Doc here with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. All of things Futontopia. You Futons, have a great day. Now, I don't care if you watch this today, tomorrow, week from now, month from now, year from now. I love every single freaking one of you. And which one is your best sci-fi movie? Was it Freaky Friday? Was it Totally Killer? Was it Happy Death Day? Or was it Happy Bad Death Day to you? What other ones am I missing?